Hey guys, Jay Marsden here. Wanted to put something together. Something came up this week in the office, and I don't think we've addressed it as a video for you guys. So I wanted to put something together that you hopefully will find helpful. The topic of the idea is what to do when you're buying, well, I should say selling and or buying your house in a trust. So we get questions from clients all the time where they put their house in a trust a couple of years ago or at some point in the past, and now they're selling the house. And then they're either selling the house and taking the cash, or they're selling the house and they're buying another property with it. And we'll talk about it in two ways. We'll talk about it on the revocable trust side, and we'll talk about it on the irrevocable trust side. So let's talk about it on the revocable trust side. So remember, you put your house in a trust a couple of years ago to avoid probate. It's a revocable trust. You are completely and totally in control. And now you're selling your house. So, just from your perspective, nothing is different. All you're doing is selling your house. You and your spouse are still going to be the ones that are going to sign all the paperwork. Okay. And the only thing that's going to be different is on that paperwork, as you move through the process, you're probably going to see the language of your trust in there somewhere because that's really who owns the house. The trust owns the house. You're the trustees. So you're the ones that are signing the paperwork, but the house is really owned by the trust. So in my case, for example, the Marsden Family Trust would be selling my house, okay? And myself and my wife, Kim, would be signing the paperwork as the trustees of the trust. So when the buyer's attorney, who probably is connected to the bank in some way, shape, or form, is pulling all the paperwork together, that paperwork is going to be pulled together under the name of the trust with me and my wife as the trustees of the trust. So it's not that nothing should feel different. It'll look a little different, meaning that the trust is going to be, that name is going to appear consistently throughout the documents that you're going to get, but you're just signing and your spouse is just signing in your capacity as the trustees of your trust. And you're probably going to have to provide what's called a trustee certificate, which is what you signed when your house went into the trust and got recorded at the registry. It's just a piece of paper that says, I have a trust, the house is in the trust, and I can do whatever I want to do with the trust, or with the house, excuse me, as part of the trust. I can do whatever I want to do with the house as part of the trust. And that's all I care about as the buyer of this property. That's all I care about is that you have the ability to transfer the property to me. So remember, you're still signing the paperwork. You're still signing your name. They may want you to write trustee after your name. They may want you to write TR after your name. You know, the bank's attorneys, your closing attorney who's helping you on the sell side, they'll kind of guide you through how they want you to sign everything. But it's your social security number. It's not more convoluted from a tax perspective. So everything should feel the same. The difference is that the trust's name is going to appear in the documents. And I don't have a specific answer for you as to where and how it's going to appear because it's really going to depend on how the buyer's attorney, how the bank pulls that together. But that's the difference. Marsden Family Trust, Jay and Kim as trustees, sign, 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 sign. That's why I'm holding a pen. Sign, sign, sign. And that's going to work through the process, but nothing is different. Now, what will feel different is they're going to cut a check at the closing to the name of the trust because your house is owned by, in my case, the Marsden Family Trust. So I'm going to get a check made payable to the Marsden Family Trust. Now, if I've listened to everything that I preach to you guys on a regular basis, I have an investment account or a fidelity account or a bank account that's in the name of my trust. And that's where my check is going to go. All right. It's going to go into my fidelity account in the name of my trust. So after the mortgage gets paid off and everything is taken care of, the sales proceeds, the net sales proceeds that come to me in that check, or they'll wire it somewhere, right? They'll send it electronically. But that's going to be in the name of my trust. And I'm going to go put it in my bank account or in my Fidelity account or my Charles Schwab account in the name of my trust. If I don't have a bank account or if I don't have a Fidelity account in the name of my trust, Fidelity or the bank is going to make me open up an account in the name of my trust to deposit the check in that account. Okay. So you might have to open up an account in the name of the trust. The bank will guide you through that paperwork, and that will help you set the account up in the name of your trust, or Fidelity will help you change the registration so you can deposit the trust. But either way, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get a check, and it needs to go in the name of an account that's in the name of your trust. If you don't have one at this point, this is where you would set one up. And then when you're buying your new place, if that's what's happening, if you're downsizing, let's say your new place costs $500,000 and you sold a place for $750,000. Well, now you've got $250,000 extra, right? So you have a bank account or a Fidelity account that got a check from the sale of your house and put it into your trust account. So your trust account now has $750,000, and you're going to buy your new place for $500,000. We're flipping the transaction. We're reversing the transaction. Your new place is going to get purchased in the name of your trust. All the paperwork to buy your new place is going to be in the name of the trust. You and your spouse will sign the paperwork. Jay and Kim will sign the paperwork as trustees of their trust. And then I will give the sellers a check from my trust made payable to them to buy my new place, right? So I'll take a $500,000 banker's check, or I'll wire the money in the name of my trust, and I'll give it to the buyers, to the sellers. And then I'm going to fill all my paperwork out so that my new house, my new condo, my new town, whatever it is in the name of my trust. So I sold a house for $750,000 in the name of my revocable trust. I and my spouse filled out the paperwork. It's all the same paperwork. The taxes are the same. Everything is under my social security number. And I got a check for $750,000. I took that check. I either put it in my existing trust account at Fidelity or my existing trust account at the bank, or I opened up a trust account at Fidelity, trust account at the bank. I put my $750 in there. I'm in charge. I'm the trustee. I can do whatever I want to do with it. And when I bought my new place, I instructed the sellers of the new place to put all that paperwork in the name of my trust again. So I took a check for $500,000 out of my freshly minted $750,000. I gave it to the sellers, and my new place is in the name of my trust. All that happens under the trust. I'm signing, my wife is signing. The paperwork looks a little different just because the name of the trust is on there, but the transaction effectively operates the same exact way. Okay, that's for a revocable trust. For an irrevocable trust, all of that is the same, with the exception that you're not the one handling the transaction. So in most irrevocable trusts that we do, one of your kids, for example, is probably the trustee of the trust. So you will approach your kid and say, look, we're selling the house. We put it in an irrevocable trust X numbers of years ago. Your kid, who is, a friendly trustee, that's why we chose them, is going to say, sure, no problem. What do you need me to do? And you're going to say to them, well, we're selling it. It's in the irrevocable trust. You're going to have a bunch of paperwork to sign as the seller, as the trustee selling the property. Your kid says, sure, no problem. They're signing what they're told to sign. They sign. And then they get a check made payable to your irrevocable trust. And then if they don't have a bank account in the name of the irrevocable trust, they're going to set one up. They're going to deposit a check for $750,000. And then they are going to go and buy or purchase your new place in the name of the irrevocable trust. And they are the ones who will sign all the paperwork because they are the trustees. You are not the trustees. In the revocable trust, you're doing all the paperwork just like you would in a regular, the normal, regular old transaction that you're probably familiar with. In an irrevocable trust, you're sort of directing the transaction, but the trustee is the one who's doing all the heavy lifting. They're the ones doing the paperwork. They're going to sign the deed getting rid of the house. They're going to get the check. They're going to put the check in the name of the trust. They're going to buy the new place in the name of the trust. And then any leftover money stays in the trust. That's what happens. Now, the leftover money that stays in your revocable trust, you have complete and total access to it. You can spend it. You can go on vacation. You can go to the islands. You can go to Bora Bora, Tahiti, wherever you want to go. Go to a place that looks like the screen behind me. It's your money to do whatever you want to do with. When you have extra money in your irrevocable trust, your trustee, one of the kids, is going to keep that money either in a bank account or keep that money in a Fidelity account or a Schwab account or something like that. You don't get it. The trustee is in charge of it. Revocable trust, it's yours. Irrevocable trust, it's protected. Leftover money stays in the irrevocable trust. Leftover money is available to be used in the revocable trust. So that's really the gist of it. When you're selling your house in your revocable trust, again, the paperwork is going to come in. It's going to have the name of the trust on it. You're signing as the trustee. You and your spouse are signing as the trustee. You're going to get a check. It's in the name of the trust. And we got to find a trust account to put it into so that you can buy your new place. In the irrevocable trust, the trustee, which is probably one of your kids, not you, they are going to handle the transaction. Again, it looks the same. They're signing paperwork in their capacity as your trustee. That's what that transaction looks like. So I hope that was helpful. Don't be afraid to watch this a couple of times. We hope it comes together for you and starts to make sense. I promise at some point after a while, it does start to make sense. And if you have any questions on this topic or any other topic, as always, please give us a ring at your convenience, 508-858-5324, or look for us on the web at www.theletterjmarsden, my last name, MARSDENLAW.com. The letter J, marsdenlaw.com. Hope this was helpful. And if there's any of the topics you want to hear about, always let us know. We're happy to jump in. Have a great day. Have a great week. Take care.